So this is Guru Parampara by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. In the beginning of creation, the science of devotional service was received by the four-headed Brahma from the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Devarshi Narada's understanding of this divine science was obtained from Brahma. The great sage Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, who was empowered to compile the Vedic literatures, became a disciple of Devarshi Narada. Sripad Madhvacharya, the founder of the Shuddha Dvaita school of Vedanta philosophy, who visited Vyasadev at Badrik Ashrama in the 13th century to learn from him Vedanta philosophy, calls himself a servant of Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa. Purna Pragya Tirtha Madhva is the guru and sole refuge of Padmanabha Tirtha. The two principal disciples of Madhva are Narahari Tirtha and Madhava Tirtha. Madhava Tirtha accepted the great Paramahamsa Akshobhya Tirtha as a disciple. The principal disciple for Akshobhya Tirtha was known as Jayatirtha. Jayatirtha's service was for his disciple Jnana Sindhu. Dayanidhi received the science of devotional service from Jnana Sindhu, and the disciple and the servant of Dayanidhi was Vidyanidhi, Vidyadhiraja Tirtha. Rajendra Tirtha became a disciple of Vidyadhiraja Tirtha. Rajendra Tirtha's servant was known as Jayadharma or Vijayadhvaja Tirtha. In this way, you should properly understand this disciplic succession. Great sannyasi Sri Purushottama Tirtha received his knowledge in the service of his guru Vijayadhvaja Tirtha, Jayadharma. The principal disciple of Purushottama Tirtha was Subramanya Tirtha. His servant was the great Vyasa Tirtha, Vyasavaya. Vyasa Tirtha's servant was Lakshmipati Tirtha, whose disciple was Madhavendra Puri Goswami. The chief disciple of Madhavendra Puri was Ishvara Puri, and two of his other disciples were the renowned incarnations of Godhead, Sri Nityananda and Advaita Acharya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the spiritual preceptor of all the worlds, made Ishvara Puri greatly fortunate by accepting him as his spiritual master. Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya is non-different from Sri Radha and Krishna, and is the very life of those Vaishnavas who follow Sri Rupa Goswami. Sri Swarup Damodar Goswami, Rupa Goswami, and Sanatana Goswami were the givers of great happiness to Vishwamdhara, Sri Chaitanya. The great soul Jiva Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami became very dear to Rupa Goswami. Jiva Goswami was a disciple of Rupa Goswami, and Raghunath Das Goswami, a disciple of Advaita Acharya's disciple, Yadunandana Acharya, was accepted by Rupa and Sanatan as their third brother. Raghunath Das Goswami's beloved student was Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Krishnadas Kaviraj was an intimate friend of Lokanath Goswami. They lived together in Vrindavan and always discussed the topics of Krishna with one another. Lokanath Goswami, a disciple of Gadadhar Pandit, had only one disciple whose name was Narottam Das. Narottam Das was always engaged in the service of his guru, and he also engaged himself in the service of his guru's intimate friend. Thus, he became very dear to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. To serve the lotus feet of Narottam Das Thakur was the only desire of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who was the fourth Acharya in the disciplic succession from Narottam Das. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was the Shiksha Guru, instructing spiritual master of Baladev Vidyabhushan, to whom he taught the precepts of Srimad Bhagavatam. Jagannath Das Babaji was a very prominent Acharya after Sri Baladev Vidyabhushan, and was the beloved Shiksha Guru of Sri Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Bhakti Vinod Thakur's intimate friend and associate was the eminent Mahabhagavad, Sri Gaurkishore Das Babaji, whose sole joy was found in Hari Bhajan. These saintly Vaishnavas are all Paramahamsas, or devotees of the highest order, and they are all part of Lord Gauranga's own spiritual family. Their holy feet are my refuge. I have no real interest in devotional service, and I am a poor and lowly Tridandi sannyasi named Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. The renowned Sri Vyasa-Puja Devi Dayita Das, the initiated name of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, is always engaged in the service of his spiritual master, Srila Gaurkishore Das Babaji. His foremost disciple preacher is Sri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who has spread the message of Lord Chaitanya throughout the world and is thus a reservoir of mercy and compassion for all fallen souls. Krishna hoite chaturmukha, hoy Krishna sevan mukha. Krishna hoite chaturmukha,
Dear Lord Krishna, you're so kind upon this useless soul, but I do not know why you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like with me. But I guess you have some business here. Otherwise, why would you bring me to this terrible place? Most of the population here is covered by the material modes, ignorance, and passion, absorbed in material life. They think themselves very happy and satisfied, and therefore they have no taste or transit or message of Vasudeva. I do not know how they will be able to understand it. But I know your mercy, your causeless mercy can make everything possible, because you are the most expert mystic. How will they understand the mellows of devotional service? Oh Lord, I'm simply praying for your mercy so that I will be able to convince them about your message. All living entities have come under the control of the illusory energy by your will, and therefore, if you like, by your will, they can also be released from the clutches of illusion. I wish that you may deliver them. Therefore, if you so desire their deliverance, then only will they be able to understand your message. The words of Srimad Bhagavatam are your incarnation, and if a sober person repeatedly receives it with submissive oral reception, then he will be able to understand your message. It is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is Paramatma, super soul in one's heart, and the benefactor of truthful devotee, cleanses the desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who relishes his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. By regularly hearing the Bhagavatam and rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is practically destroyed, and loving service unto the glorious Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, established as an irrevocable fact. At the time loving service established in the heart the modes of passion, rajas and ignorance, tamas, and lust and desire calm and disappear from the heart. Then the devotee establishing goodness and becomes happy. Establishing more goodness, the man rejuvenated by loving service to the Lord gains liberation from material association, mukti, and comes to know scientifically of the personality of Godhead. Thus the nuts of the heart and all misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of fruit of action, karma, is terminated when one sees itself as master. He will become liberated from the influence of modes of ignorance and passion, and thus all inauspicious things accumulated in the core of the heart will disappear. How will I make them understand this message of Krishna consciousness? I'm very unfortunate, unqualified, and the most fallen. Therefore I am seeking your benediction so that I can convince them, for I am powerless to do so on my own. Somehow or other, O Lord, you have brought me here to speak about you. Now, my Lord, it is up to you to make me a success or failure as you like. O spiritual master of all the worlds, I can simply repeat your message, so if you like, you can make my power of speaking suitable for their understanding. Only by your causeless mercy will my words become pure. I am sure that when this transcendental message penetrates their hearts, they will certainly feel embodied and thus become liberated from all unhappy conditions of life. O Lord, I am just like a puppet in your hands. So if you have brought me here to dance, then make me dance, O Lord. Make me dance as you like. I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge, but I have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. I have been designated as Bhaktivedanta, and now if you like, you can fulfill the real purport of Bhaktivedanta. Signed, the most unfortunate, insignificant beggar, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, on board the ship Jaladuta in Commonwealth Pier, Boston, Massachusetts, USA, dated 18th of September 1965. Goro kripa kaile Krishna adhame prati. Goro kripa kaile Krishna adhame prati.
Hridayam dasto bhadrani vidhunovi suhritsatam Nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nishtam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavatyuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki Tadarajasamo bhava kamano bhagayashaye Cheta etayaranavidham stham sattve prasidhati Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogataha Bhagavat tattva vijnanam mukta sangasya jayate Bhidyate hridaya granthis Chidyante sarva samshayaha Shriyante chasya karmani Drishta evatmanishware
Rajastamo gune haite tabe pai vinita
Rajastamo hoite tabe pai venita Hridaya offerings now. Then, after the offerings are over, we will we'll sing prayers unto the lotus feet of Krishna. And so, men will the offerings first, followed by the Matajis. There's few of us, so kindly say something, glorification of Srila Prabhupada. Okay. I'll take that. This is it. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishaya Bhutale Srimate Vyasa-Puja. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Vichari Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshkati. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Dear Srila Prabhupada, after beginning to read the book Mood and Mission of Srila Prabhupada, I have come to the embarrassing realization that I do not know how to glorify my spiritual master. I do not know how to glorify any of the acharyas. Your glories are so that it is unfathomable how anybody could regard you as an ordinary person. Just a living entity, par excellence. Someone who is directly descended from the spiritual world simply to benefit fallen conditioned souls in this most degraded age of Kali Yuga. And Srila Prabhupada, you are such an empowered personality that you have such empowered disciples who have rendered such extraordinary devotional service unto you. I am simply amazed by this book, which is just page after page of glories of you, instructions of you. What a vibrant personality you are. It is not conceivable to even remotely think of anyone who could even remotely come close to the character, nature, and stature of the personality of who you are. And it amazes me how such people could actually think, or there can be people, just one person recently, thinks that there's thinks that compares your Guru Maharaj to the Jehovah's Witnesses. And the power of Maya to be able to cover the glories of a personality like yourself to those who have unfortunately become envious towards you and your dear servants is simply indicative of the amazing potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his Mahamaya energy. I am more than convinced that under the guidance of your dear disciple, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, we are engaged in activities that are certainly pleasing to you. Your appearance in our temple in the form of your Murthy has personally very has personally influenced me a lot. It has affected me very much. I find great solace in seeing you. I'm very much a neophyte, and I feel that my Guru Maharaj has manifested you in a form that I can appreciate more, even though you have always been present here in the form of your painting and in the form of your books. But still, I feel that in these very challenging times that Krishna life is going through, challenging, it is exciting, it is not depressing, but it is challenging nevertheless. We are going through a major change, transformation to attempt to serve your desire to establish farm communities in the United States. And this change hasn't been very easy. And in many ways, we've been forced to make this change. I am personally guilty of trying to postpone or look in the other direction because of the great challenges it poses. And we have been forced to take this in order to engage in some kind of preaching activity. So in these challenging times, it sometimes we wonder, are we doing everything right? But your presence here every day reminds me that we are doing it. And by reading this book, The Mood and Mission of Srila Prabhupada, I find great solace and hope and inspiration and enthusiasm that by following your words, success will be achieved. Srila Prabhupada, I'm not as advanced to say that I might be able to go on this whole life without seeing some kind of positive impact in the world, in even some insignificant way, to assure me that we have done some service to you. I wish I was as surrendered as you are, who was so convinced that you went to New York just to please your spiritual master and was fully ready to accept any outcome. And Srila Prabhupada, that is because you are firmly convinced that your home is Vrindavan. I don't have that conviction. I'm very fallen. And in fact, your movement in this preaching mission, this is my only shelter. I don't have the shelter of Vrindavan because I have too many lusty desires in my heart which are very embarrassing to say, which you are unfortunately fully aware of. Therefore, please do not kick me away. Please do not allow the illusory energy of Krishna, which is so great that it can cover the glories of a personality like yourself, to conditioned souls who have turned their face away from you. Kindly give me faith. Kindly give me the ability to chant the holy name purely. This is one of my biggest concerns, that I do not have any taste for chanting the holy name. And therefore I often fear that I may fall away from Krishna consciousness. Kindly put some sense into this thick brain of mine, which doesn't grasp the simple process of Krishna consciousness that you have given. But in conclusion, in spite of all the challenges, I do feel great hope. I don't know what and where exactly we are moving, but somehow I feel strongly that the place that we are moving to is going to help us in our service and will allow us to please our spiritual master by spreading the Krishna consciousness movement to Western people in the United States. Thank you very much for everything you have done. I don't have very useful things to say in glorification of you. I am trying in some small way. Kindly accept this offering and kindly bless us that we may serve you by finding a farm project, by starting a farm project, by finding a property that we can use to convert many, many, many Westerners to the cult of Lord Chaitanya. Your servant, Vishnu Chittadas.
Hare Krishna. So let me pull this up. Okay. So I'll just speak like my glorification in a general way. So for me personally, I first met Srila Prabhupada. When was that? So there we go. So January 1st. Sorry. Let me fix that. Keep talking. So I first met Srila Prabhupada January 8th, 2012. And of course, how is that possible? So of course that's possible because I got the divine opportunity to find one of Srila Prabhupada's books, which completely changed like the course and direction of my life. And it's, a lot of people in the world have like fond memories of this and that, but at least for me, it's something that I always like think about, that moment of first finding one of Srila Prabhupada's books. And I remember like the day like super clear like anything, and just like, getting that book and then looking at it and reading it, and then just that whole period of just like looking at the pictures and trying to understand. That was Krishna book. So it was a pretty complicated book, and I didn't really understand much of it. But from that book, I began chanting, and then, as things went on, one of my friends helped me come closer to Krishna consciousness. So the situation, I think, is similar for most people, because being in Srila Prabhupada's movement and distributing his books is similarly giving others an opportunity to come to the path of Krishna consciousness and to have a radical metamorphosis or transformation of one's life, going from an ardent materialist to progressing the path to surrender unto Krishna and his devotees. And I think it's something that we can all agree upon. Individually and collectively, there's different challenges sorry, I'm a little nervous. There's different challenges in our lives and different obstacles that we have to overcome in order to establish Krishna consciousness within this world, and then also to earn the mercy of our spiritual master and to push forward the Krishna consciousness movement. And so that may come in different shapes and sizes, but even with all those different challenges and all the different situations that we're all in, the goal is ultimately the same for everyone, which is to, of course, serve in Srila Prabhupada's Sankirtan mission and to become pure devotees of Krishna. And so I think everybody can relate to the fact of being able to read some of this book, Srila Prabhupada's Moon and Mission, and seeing the different aspects and facets of Srila Prabhupada's personality, how he dealt with certain things, and then receiving inspiration from that, and then of course seeing so many different things that you may not have been aware of, or know how it connected and such. And then also simultaneously while reading that, being in awe of the work that His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj did. So I wanted to read one small section in here about, it's called Secrets of Success. And there's so many different things that could be read in here and added upon, just glorifying Srila Prabhupada. I mean, there's chapters and chapters. But particularly this one, I mean, there's so many different things, but I've read this recently and I liked it. So I wanted to read some of it like that. So this part is called Giving Love. So prior to this, Srila Prabhupada explains that, you know, to love means to be connected to Krishna. So I'll read some of this paragraph by Bhakti Vikas Maharaj and then the quote from Prabhupada. So, while he often spoke of the basic principle of love, Srila Prabhupada did not, like so many sentimental Swamis from India, talk about love in a vague, unspecified manner. He shocked dreamers by insisting that there is no love in the material world. It is all lust. Love means loving God. He specified that real love means love for Krishna, that all else that passes for love is but a sham, and that a preacher of Krishna consciousness is the best exemplar of love, citing himself as the obvious example. So this is a quote from Prabhupada. We are giving Krishna consciousness, that is loving, real loving. We are giving him eternal life, eternal bliss. Unless we love them, why are we taking so much trouble? The preacher must love the people. Otherwise, why is he taking so much trouble? He can do it for himself at home. Why have I come here at 80 years old if I do not love? So who can be a better lover than the preacher? He loves even the animals. Therefore, they are preaching, don't take meat. Do you love the animals, rascal? They are eating meat and they love their country, that's all. Nobody loves. It is simply sense gratification. If somebody loves, he is Krishna conscious, that's all. All rascals. They are after their own sense gratification, and they will put a signboard, I love everyone. This is their business, and fools are accepting. Oh, this man is very philanthropic. He does not love any man. He loves only his senses, that's all. The servant of the senses, that's all. Everyone is working because he is getting money. Where is the love? The minister, the prime minister, everyone, if they say no money, no salary, nobody will go there. He takes the opportunity of taking money by bribe, by this way. Therefore, they say, I love your country, elect me as president. So specifically within this, just Srila Prabhupada expressing what love actually is. And like I said, there's so many different things that could be expressed, but we see that if we take the actual true understanding of love and the words that Srila Prabhupada uses and then his definitions of how he uses them, we see that to actually love means to give Krishna consciousness and to take all inconveniences for that. And there's so many things that pass off in this material world as Srila Prabhupada expressed for love. But we see that Srila Prabhupada was the greatest lover of humanity, of humankind, of things like that, because he gave so much in order to spread Krishna consciousness, which wasn't available previously at all. Before Srila Prabhupada came, there wasn't, Bhagavad Gita as it is. There wasn't a Vaishnava society. There wasn't Sunday feast, prasadam. It wasn't anything. There was hippies running around having sex with each others. The Beatlemania was going on. Vietnam War was raging. I mean, there was no Krishna consciousness. There was no alternative. So Srila Prabhupada came and gave all that out of love, and that's the proper understanding of love. And so that's, of course, I think one great quality that Srila Prabhupada has is that he, not only was he able to love because he was himself also properly experiencing love with Krishna. So that also has to be there. You can't love society and then have no conception of Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada taught that expertly of what it means actually to love society. And of course we can receive inspiration from that. And just to wrap this up, 2 last points. Just the other day when I was driving, anyways, this one man was asking so many questions. And he took some college class, some Hinduism class or whatever. And then, he was just saying, you know more than what I learned in my college class. And, I was kind of yeah, I probably. And I was well, it's because I've had good teachers. And I was just thinking getting opportunity to read Srila Prabhupada's books gives one so much, information of, what Krishna consciousness actually is, versus what passes off as, quote unquote Hinduism. But even after going deeper and thinking more of that, and maybe more and more as time goes on, but it's specifically for me, there are so many disciples of Srila Prabhupada, and obviously there's a difference between me and them because I'm not a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. I'm a disciple of my spiritual master. So for me, especially on this day, of course, at least meditation in the back of my head, is that the basis of my relationship is through my own spiritual master, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. And it's through him that, I serve Srila Prabhupada by engaging in his service, because Maharaj took so much effort to put this book together and to, engaging different things and conversing with his disciples, of course, to spread and preach Krishna consciousness. And, I serve, them, and then occasionally I may do something for Guru Maharaj. But it's not that I'm able to just serve Srila Prabhupada independently on my own whim or my own understanding. It's through the via medium of His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. So it's more and more as time goes on, I'm seeing how this day is also linked with my own spiritual master, and how there's a connection between the two, which is will always be there. There's a connection. If I think that Srila Prabhupada is all in all, and I don't need my spiritual master or whatever, or I understand more, then there's a problem, a big problem. But if I understand properly that my spiritual master is, of course, 100% surrendered to Srila Prabhupada, has studied his works elaborately, and not only has studied his works, but has been given complete realization of his teachings and how to apply them in the modern age, and serve in that spirit, then I'll be able to serve Srila Prabhupada much more than I could on my own whim or my own calculations. So that's what I have for now. So thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki. Yeah.
Krishna Bhakti Vedanta Samidina Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharani Nivadi Pashyate Tishtarni Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinda. Dear Shri Prabhupada, it's certainly been a constant, different levels of struggle for the last 2 years in regards to preaching, management, taking on more responsibilities, and then own personal issues as such, and it's been quite a ride for the last 2 years, especially in Krishna life. But through such difficulties, I've always found great solace and unlimited appreciation of your divine grace. I'm feeling that I can finally begin to understand a glimmer of your glory, as Harishwari Prabhu states, that unless following his instructions, there is no question of appreciating who you are or your work. So I'm noticing this mostly I mean, you being doing all of these things, management, I mean, putting the whole movement was dependent upon you. So many problems, so many issues. Amongst all those things, I'm noticing your glory in preaching mostly, that to bring even a few people to Krishna consciousness practically can feel impossible. Even today, there was a young boy promised and organized well ahead of time to be here for your Vyasa-Puja, but even an hour before saying, yes, I'm coming, but then never even reaching out or even contacting you again, or just ghosting, as they say. Such is the situation in which people don't even have decent human behavior nowadays. So I'm always feeling bewildered in how the people of this time and circumstance will take up Krishna consciousness. It would be easy to revert to cheap methods such as sound bowls and yoga, but I'm finding more conviction in the necessity to carry the method that you use. Simply speak about Krishna and give them Krishna. Nothing else is required. To revert to other methods, then the process you gave us would be Guru Tyag. Your mercy will stop flowing, and what could be more suicidal than that? As a brahmachari disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur boldly declared that he disagreed with the statement with Mahaprabhu's seminal edict, Jivera Swarupa Hai Krishna Nitya Das, by considering position the living entity is an eternal servant of Krishna. Jaka Maharaj angrily responded, are you crazy to disagree with Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami? This is Radharaman Prabhu. Said, I shall write an article about this. So he writes, certainly I am an eternal servant of Krishna. However, at this stage, I have no realization of that relationship. If I were to say it now, it would merely be lip service. But I do know my Gurudev and recognize myself as his eternal servant. By his grace, perhaps one day I will come to know Krishna. Only then, not before, will I appreciate my position as Krishna's eternal servant. Now I understand that I am the eternal servant of my Guru. That is my real identity. This mood I am imbibing from my own spiritual master, your intimate servant Bhakti-Vikas Swami, who, although unlimited in his glories, can be summarized by two words, Prabhupada conscious. He has taught us that to state that we love Prabhupada or I love Prabhupada is vastly different from actually following instructions. Love is shown in action, and certainly the real test is love is shown in action, and certainly is the real test distinguishing the saints from the swindlers. Don't be a Guru Tyagi, Guru Bhogi, but be a Guru Sevi. To be a Guru Sevi means to follow what you instruct, to base our activities, decisions and policies upon your instructions. Upon doing so, we not only please you, but bring even greater pleasure to our own spiritual master. Recently, he has given us the task, which seems impossible at times, but reminding myself that you say that impossible is a word in a fool's dictionary. We're pushing on with deep faith that this is the next revolution of the Krishna conscious movement that will literally bring millions of people to the farm. And we're already seeing that in reaching people online, that people are enlivened with the idea of your idea of simple living and higher thinking. Some of them state that they're willing to do anything to come and be on the farm. So amongst all these things, it's clear what we should do and the direction we should move in order to establish the Krishna consciousness movement as a prominent movement within the modern society, for them to clearly see that we're not just speaking philosophy, or most of the time we're not even speaking that philosophy, but that we're actually living it, as our spiritual master has told us, that is what will attract people, that we're not just speaking, but we're actually living and showing by example the standard of Vedic culture and what it means to be a human being, what it means to worship Krishna. And amongst all these things, it's greatly difficult, and there's no doubt about that. Me, personally, I have no qualification to do what I'm doing at all, and the responsibility that I've been given. But one thing is that we have deep faith in our spiritual master, that by trying to serve him in your service, that we will be given proper intelligence by which we can conquer our own natures that we have, and we can serve you on that platform that to please you. And main point being that amongst all this, we may be successful, or we may fail also, but it doesn't matter actually, because we're completely dedicated in putting our body-minded words in your service. And being cautious in the thing that you pointed out, that personal ambition will certainly destroy everything, or it's like poison. That it will not only destroy our own spiritual life, but it will also destroy the life of the movement. So we're taking on risks, and we're praying to you that we may not be full of personal desire, that we only may try to please you. And it's taking me time to realize that to become fully satisfied and just fulfilling your desire and instruction is the only way to become happy in our life. This relieves us of all anxieties, pain, and disease of this world, for we come to the platform of liberation when our words, body, and mind is absorbed 24 hours a day in consciousness of you. So I'm trying my best to renounce my material desires and fully be situated at the service of my own spiritual master. I don't want the desire for home, wife, children, and money, for they only keep me far away from your lotus feet. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. So I pray to you, Srila Prabhupada, to never forget your lotus feet in my life. Please give me strength to go on serving with intensity in whatever service you may engage me in. I simply desire to be a useful instrument in the hands of my spiritual master. Thank you very much, Srila Prabhupada, for giving us so much here at Krishna Life, giving us the essence of the Krishna consciousness movement in so many forms. We're very pleased and enlivened to distribute so many thousands of your books, establish farm communities, and raise ideal devotees that you are pleased by. Even if it's just one, that is our success. Thank you very much, Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Vishmati Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Itnamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharane Devashesha Shunivari Pashyati Dirsha Tarine. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you. Srila Prabhupada, you are a pure devotee. You're a brilliant visionary, an expert manager, a consummate scholar. The wonder of your character is that it's ineffable. You can't stereotype it. You can't encapsulate it. There's many different aspects of your personality, but if you were to try and sum you up, you can't. As George Harrison remarked, quote, I felt that he was a good friend. Even though he was, at the time, 79 years old, working practically all through the night, day after day, with very little sleep, he still didn't come through to me as though he was a very highly educated intellectual being, because he has sort of a childlike simplicity, which is great, fantastic, even though he was the greatest Sanskrit scholar and saint. My own Guru Maharaj, he wrote, quote, Srila Prabhupada's achievements as a visionary, revolutionary, leader, organizer, manager, scholar, teacher, author, and ultimately as a devotee were so outstanding that he would have been highly lauded had he excelled in even one of these fields. These skills are rarely complementary. A scholar is hardly expected to be a revolutionary or a manager, but Srila Prabhupada excelled in all of them, and practically everything else that he did, end quote. So, Srila Prabhupada, you are a scholar, steeped in knowledge of the Vedas, and specifically the Vaishnava tradition. You're able to quote innumerable verses and references. You're a philosopher who always viewed things through the logical lens given by Shastra. You're a cultural ambassador who brought unprecedentedly and planted the seed of Vedic culture in a completely foreign environment that's completely hostile to it. You're a prolific author who stayed awake almost every night translating profusely that hasn't been matched both in history until today, and expanding on those translations with their own realizations in terms of your purports, and over 80 publications, and in just a time of 12 years. You're a religious leader who again unprecedentedly established an apparently medieval Bengali religion across the world, attracting the Western youths who had no connection with it, ministering to people of a completely different language, culture, religious background, social customs, and complete worldview altogether. You were a spiritual teacher who conveyed the ancient Vedic knowledge, previously encrypted into the Sanskrit language, and made it easily understandable and practically applicable to people in the modern day. You're a social critic who exposed the cheating of modern politicians, religious leaders, educational institutions, scientists, historians, and modern civilization altogether, and a holy man. You're a saint who lived completely detached from this world and was palpably in connection with God. Yet your equanimity, compassion, kindness, and spiritual potency are uncommon even among saintly people. Srila Prabhupada, you certainly have all these things and much more because you're a devotee of Krishna. Ultimately, you're a Nitya Siddha who has come to this world to mercifully uplift its inmates. I offer hundreds and thousands of obeisances under your lotus feet. I have the good fortune to offer obeisance to you every single day. And I pray I have the good fortune to continue to do so. I pray, as Dhruva Maharaj did, quote, "O Lord, kindly bless me." Sorry. Kindly bless me so that I may associate with great devotees who engage in a transcendental loving service constantly, as the waves of a river constantly flow. Such transcendental devotees are completely situated in an uncontaminated state of life. By the process of devotional service, I shall surely be able to cross the Nescian ocean of material existence, which is filled with the waves of blazing fire-like dangers. Please keep me under your shelter, Srila Prabhupada, close to your lotus feet. Please continue to glance upon me. Please keep me in your house, and please keep me among your devotees.
Om Agyana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jaina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my obeisances as I bow my head in the holy dust of your lotus feet. All glories to you. You are the world Acharya, coming to shower mercy on all the forgotten souls. I do not feel myself to be at all qualified to be your grandson. Please forgive the many millions of offenses I have committed to you and your followers. You had heart attacks aboard the Jaladuta while coming to the west, but surely once your divine grace touched this soil, a revolution started in this most degraded and ferocious place. But as your heart gained strength, your movement spread, attracting many faithful followers to spread Lord Gauranga's glories in every nook and corner. But as I take the current pulse of your mission in the West, we can see it's not beating the way it used to. With arguments about the moon landing, Ritvigism, abortion, poison theory, and even female Diksha gurus causing your movement to go off track, we are trying to keep your mood and precepts in the center. Because it is quite obvious that a real Vedic woman wasn't glorified as a spiritual master. Rather, they were praised as being devoted to their husbands and families. Where is your movement going? Instead of wasting time and getting sidetracked on the progressive march of spreading Krishna consciousness in the Western world, we are busy counting how many Srimad Bhagavatam sets get distributed and how many pounds of organic produce we are pulling from the garden. Books and farms are your two solid programs. We are holding on to them just like we clasp your two lotus feet every morning. Your movement in America needs farm communities now more than ever. They are the future of your mission and will save this movement. They will save this planet in its darkest hour. And I myself especially need the stable foundation of your voluminous instructions on simple living and high thinking. Daiva Varnashram and Harinam Sankirtan, crop protection and agriculture, Brahminical culture, and Bhagavad Dharma. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please don't kick this foolish dog out of your dancing party because I'm just waiting to go on a morning walk with you. Your appearance into this world was glorious, and your departure was also glorious. May we also be glorious by following your divine instructions and give you pleasure by doing so. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. Your unqualified grandson, Avadutta Chandradas.
Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunivari Paschati Deshatarine. Dear Srila Prabhupada, I can't fathom your greatness. I have the conditioning to not give due respect to my seniors. Time and time again, I make offenses, but still somehow I am allowed to serve in your mission. Day after day, I push on with a hard heart, knowing in the back of my mind that there's really nothing else to do with my life. I could go flaunt my body like everyone else, but that would make me no different from the unlimited helpless persons in Kali Yuga, all thinking themselves number one. I have had enough of this useless life. I have seen it for what it is, and I can't do it anymore. I have nowhere to turn but to your lotus feet. But pride makes me reluctant to take advantage of your mercy. Thinking myself capable, advancement is a slow process. There is so much nonsense I cling on to. Only the transcendental knowledge of Krishna and his devotees' pastimes can wean me from the poison of self-absorption and save me from my mind. Srila Prabhupada, your mission was to conquer the world. Your transformation of society through Krishna consciousness is not only a grand prophecy, but over and above all, it is intimate and personal. My friends, the food I eat, my material situation, and my very purpose, everything I have is an expansion of your mercy. You sacrificed everything to give us Krishna, saving us from the blazing fire of material existence. The appreciation we have for you is invaluable because you have struck the deepest chords of our hearts. Listening to the kirtan of your disciples, I am enchanted by the devotees' love for you as they cry out the Guru Vastakam. These high spirits are what inspire me to want to love you more. Please allow me to continue this process so I may eventually return to the nature of Satchidananda, your aspiring servant Jitagirish Das.
Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Sarasvati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavari Paschatya Deshatarine. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Despite achieving your divine association through your books, I've yet to realize just what I've been given. The spiritual master opens the eyes of the disciple whom, without guidance of through proper authority, remains blinded by the darkness of ignorance. Faithful execution of the Guru's mission is the only means by which one may become a worthy recipient of that torchlight of knowledge. I find, however, that rather than striving for the pleasure of my own Guru, your disciple, Bhakti-Vikas Swami Maharaj, I'm very much concerned still only with my own sense pleasure. Being a perfect carrier of that torchlight, you have illuminated the darkened Western world, merged in passion and ignorance, given such fallen souls opportunity to achieve perfection, whilst in these gross bodies. Devoid of all good qualities and full of sinful propensity, I am most foolish in my unwillingness to sincerely follow your instructions, laid out by your divine grace and passed on through your faithful followers. I relish only the whips of material nature rather than nectar of devotional service, while thinking I've achieved a higher platform. I'm one who claims humility when the quality will be revered, but yet find myself lacking that same quality when it should be expected. When a famous quote reads, "The ultimate measure of man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." Similarly, you stated that an easygoing life and attainment of perfection and transcendental realization cannot go together. Men of third and fourth class intelligence neglect the word of sadhus and go on with their nonsense activity, thinking blood to be nectar and pain to be pleasurable. How many births must I take, maintaining such a lamentable position, unwilling to heed your nectarian instruction? Falling into such a category of men, I have still not taken shelter of your instruction or the shade of your lotus feet, of the lotus feet of your sincere servants. I'm easily disturbed, irascible, and quick to defend my false ego. And I find that I don't regret much of anything I've done prior to joining Krishna consciousness, unfortunately. And prior to, I guess, whatever haphazard attempts I've made to engage in devotional service, I've found my condition to be described as followed. Kama dinam katina kadida palita dirnideshas, tesham jata maina karuna natrapa no pashantihi, utsir jaitan nata yudupate sampratham labda bhutis, tvam maya tafsharanam habayam mam neyungshvat madhasye. O my Lord, there is no limit to the unwanted orders of lusty desires. Although I have rendered these desires so much service, they have not shown any mercy to me. I have not been ashamed to serve them, nor have I even desired to give them up. O my Lord, O head of the Yadu dynasty, recently, however, my intelligence has been awakened, and now I am giving them up. Due to transcendental intelligence, I now refuse to obey the unwanted orders of these desires, and I now come to you to surrender myself at your fearless lotus feet. Kindly engage me in your personal service and save me. You are a Vaishnava of the highest caliber, a most perfect gentleman, an expert in all engagements, and compassionate upon all living entities, which I only have a conception of from hearing from your faithful disciples. Actually, my condition is worse than that described, because whatever intelligence I have been given is still often misguided and misused towards my own further degradation. Worse than a child who sins unconsciously is the foolish man who does so willingly, impelled only by achieving freedom from my own self-induced suffering. I've yet to even save myself yet. I'm quite far from it, actually. I have you to thank for giving a process which qualifies the least qualified, and which makes even the ungrateful rascals like myself recipients of mercy coming from the all-merciful Supreme Personality himself. I have yet to come to the point of giving up such lusty desires, but I'm trying to place full faith in your sincere servants to engage me towards doing so. So please take compassion upon this fallen jiva. If I may at least remain in the association of devotees, perhaps in some number of births I may have the great fortune of cultivating some sincerity and greater inclination towards devotional service. The disciple has the right to make some request unto the spiritual master upon rendering some service unto him. Despite not having even started to do so unto my own guru, I beg at your Lord's feet for this blessing. For despite my extensive disqualifications for any request from your divine grace, I've understood that only by the mercy of our acharyas and by the mercy of my spiritual master may the insurmountable ocean of material existence become like, as you described, a puddle of water situated in the oppression of a castle of print. Your insincere, aspiring Vaishnav, Kacharya Deshnadas.
Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Peshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Marga Swaminiti Namine. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Peshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Dear Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you, as you are the perfect example, the epitome of Karuna Sindhu, an ocean of mercy, the deliverer of the most fallen, and Jagat Guru, the spiritual master of the entire world. Let me pray that by the mercy of Hari Guru and the Vaishnavas, I may be purified and I may attempt to briefly speak on your unlimited glories. You have made Gurumukha Padma Vakya one with your heart. With such determination, you have labored so hard, leaving no stone unturned for spreading this bhakti movement all across the world. This clearly shows that you are a humble recipient, a bottomless reservoir, and a liberal distributor of the special mercy of Lord Chaitanya and your Guru Maharaj, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Looking to the beginning of your transcendental daily program, we have this Shri Guru Vashtakam, and in there there's the instruction to recite it Uchaihi, very loudly. The benefit of such is that we get the topmost thing, which is what you're giving to everybody. The topmost thing. Vrindavan Natha Sakshat Sevaiva Labhya. At the time of death, obtaining direct service to Krishna, the Lord of Vrindavan. In the first stanza of this prayer, we have Samsara Dava Nalalidha Loka Tranaya Karunya Ghana Ghanatvam. The spiritual master is receiving benediction from the ocean of mercy. Just as a cloud pours water on a forest fire to extinguish it, so the spiritual master delivers the materially afflicted world by extinguishing the blazing fire of material existence. Srila Prabhupada, you are most certainly such a spiritual master, just as a cloud showers its rains upon the land indiscriminately, not concerned with the qualifications of the recipients of the downpour. Similarly, you bestow your mercy upon all the conditioned souls, not withholding, not having any reservations, according to caste, color, birth, etc. One of the most amazing examples of this, of your boundless mercy, is your unadulterated preaching of Gauravani, the message of Lord Chaitanya, specifically in Pashyata Desha, in the Western countries and later on all across the world. Your preaching in the lands of Chandalas and the Yavanas, like myself, is an unfathomable act for most so-called saintly men present in India today. But having fully imbibed the teachings of the previous acharyas, you held no such distinctions. Fully adopting the mission of your Guru Maharaj, you set out to deliver the whole world, seeing everyone in their original constitutional position and their Swarupa as Nitya Krishna Das. The conditioned souls can find shelter in the shade of your lotus feet, and your instructions and your transcendental program. They cultivate the Bhakti Lata Beach. And they go on to help us understand how to distinguish between what is conducive for Krishna consciousness and that which is a weed and anartha. For our elevation, you have given us instructions such as, if you have money, print books, and 50% of my work is not complete because I have not established Varnashrama. Because spiritual life is compared to a razor's edge, you have given us Krishna's Daiva Varnashrama system, Chaturvarnyam Maya Shrishtam. Also we can make proper use of such facilities and in the association of devotees, follow the regulative principles, and ultimately come to a platform where we're practicing uninterrupted and unalloyed devotional service. Srila Prabhupada, your teachings, specifically those which are propounded in your books and by your sincere servants, have saved my life. Not just, I pray that I don't practice just haphazardly or temporarily, but such teachings I pray that I can follow birth after birth. I am eternally indebted to you. Please bestow upon me the shelter of your lotus feet. Although I'm praying like this now, I am quick to forget such prayers. And once again, the dragging tendency of sense gratification comes. During such times, I often forget to follow your instructions, and please bestow your mercy upon me and protect me in such times. I am grateful for being allowed to engage in the service of dressing your Srimurti. I am very unqualified to do so. Please forgive me for any offenses, for I'm uncultured and often barbaric. Please forgive me if when I am offensive while engaging in such a service. Pray that I can rise to a platform where I can serve nicely. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Your servant, Shantanu Das.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pascheta Deshatarine. Dear Srila Prabhupada, what you gave for all of us is unimaginable. Through your words in your books, we can all understand how to live a better life. You worked really hard trying to spread this movement, and because of that, here I am able to chant the Mahamantra that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to us. If it weren't for you, none of us would be here. I don't know about everyone else, but I would be doing nothing, being like completely blank. You spend like nights without sleeping, spending time translating and adding commentaries to all your books. You also mentioned in your books that book distribution is the topmost seva. Where I live in Edmonton, book distribution isn't given much importance, but still I try my best distributing these books you wrote for this world. The only way to gain knowledge is Shravanam, reading or listening, and if it weren't for you, none of us would be able to read and gain that knowledge from that Shastra. I am lucky that I'm born in a devotee family, but I still ask for your mercy and blessings so that I can continue and follow the path of Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada, I beg you to give me the mercy to be able to serve Krishna and continue serving you and staying under the service of Krishna. Please guide me throughout my life so that I can stay on track and not fall in the clutches of Maya. Please keep me in your service and in your devotee service. I ask for your blessings. Unlimited thanks to everything you have done for this world. Please forgive me if I made any mistakes. Your servant Bhakta Parth. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasha Swamini Namine. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine. I feel really embarrassed to speak because I feel really embarrassed to actually speak because I feel very unqualified to do so. I feel even unqualified to be here in the assembly of so many sincere followers of Srila Prabhupada. But it's my spiritual master's mercy upon me to be here. And it's my spiritual master's mercy upon me to be able to have this opportunity to try to serve Srila Prabhupada with some words. I apologize in advance for any offenses I create in my attempt to glorify His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. With worldly examples and mundane analogies, I understand I'm not speaking from qualification, but rather I have been given this service for my purification and to glorify Srila Prabhupada, who is worthy of unlimited praise and adoration for his inconceivable love for Krishna, whom he has willingly extended towards the undeserving conditioned souls such as myself. Srila Prabhupada, in my attempt to serve you with words, one word in specific stood out for me, magician, which definition is someone who uses or practices magic derived from supernatural, occult, or arcane sources. A person with exceptional skill in a particular area. Occult's meaning of involving or relating to mystical phenomena. arcane, understood by few, mysterious or secret. You are beyond mundane magic and illusory tricks, but what you have done to me and the world around me is nothing short of magical. Your exceptional skill is your bhakti. Your mastery of devotion, always staying fixed on pleasing Krishna purely as he desires, is unmatched by the clouded minds of the conditioned masses. Never shifted by the softness of sentiment, many religionists gravitate towards and even teach. Your ability to open my darkened eyes and illuminate my true self within, underneath my insincerity, the shame of my sinful activity, I willingly engaged in. You pierced the veil of my false perception of who I thought I was and who I wanted to be. You are Krishna's magician. As you place together dysfunctional, fragmental parts and with your bhakti magic connect them to Krishna. This connection is not of this world. It's not imaginary, and it's always transcendental. This magic rendered is not one of like the fools pretending to make rabbits disappear in a hat. Instead, your magical service to Krishna has transformed malechas, hippies, miscreants, fruit eaters, and two-legged animals like myself into practicing devotees. A disappearing act on our anartas. Krishna must be very pleased with your exceptional magic of compassion and your display of pure devotional, welcoming innumerable souls on the path back to Godhead. Mundane magicians try to cut their assistants in half and bring them back together and make them whole again, an ability that they do not have, which is ultimately a fabricated reality that is more disturbing than enjoyable. You, on the other hand, cut with your words, slicing the inner illusions showcased in the outer world, dicing the gross and subtle layers of my material bodily form into pieces I gradually lose taste for. Your mercy upon me. I've personally been cut by your words and made whole again, that which only a true sadhu can do. Your books contain all knowledge of the complete whole. This magical literature of divine compassion and mercy pieces together the fragmental parts to make them whole again in service to the complete whole, with the Supreme Personality of Godhead bringing about the complete balance. This miraculous magic cannot be simulated from people of this mundane world. You are transcendental. Materialists and so-called magicians chant abracadabra, voila, and tada. But you, beloved Srila Prabhupada, chant Hare, Krishna, and Rama. You guide the undeserving into transcendence with your distribution of the merciful Maha Mantra. You share eternal bliss, the nectar we are actually anxious for, but are misguided from reaching with material solutions. You give more than just some temporary show of so-called enjoyment like mundane magicians. You have given me everything. I can never repay you for your causeless mercy upon me. I apologize for not being a decent devotee. I apologize for my offenses and my fall downs. I'm embarrassed by my false ego and the innumerable mistakes I've made in attempted service to you and my spiritual master. May I always be in the magic of your mercy and take full advantage of my human life in such a way that pleases you greatly. Thank you for your tolerance, your compassion, mercy, and love. With great affection, gratitude, and care, yours in service eternally, Charanti Devi Dasi Mataji.
Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pachadine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschata Desatarine. Dear Srila Prabhupada, reading Krishna book alongside the mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada, dedicated to your divine grace by your dearmost disciple, my Guru Maharaj, Bhaktivedanta Swami, has reminded me of how I first felt reading your books. I was able to submissively receive the transcendental knowledge within your books from the very second I received them, through the via medium of my Guru Maharaj and your sincere grand disciples, because within your books you present the topmost knowledge in such a straightforward way that even a stubborn fool like me cannot deny anything. The knowledge you are causelessly offering the world has not only the potency to reawaken our dormant Krishna consciousness, but also the potential to fuel the false ego of a fool like me if we forget that it is simply by the mercy of your divine grace and your bona fide representatives that we have been given access to the storehouse of love of God. When I first came into contact with your divine grace, I would lament how unfortunate I was to join your movement after your manifest presence. But now, after I have been permitted to remain in your society for some short amount of time, I feel even more fortunate to have been brought to your lotus feet by the ever-increasing compassion of my Guru Maharaj and others of your sincere representatives who have delivered your mercy to me. As my Guru Maharaj said today, if we hear through the disciplic succession in an unbroken line of teachings and teachers, then it is the same as hearing from Krishna and may be more beneficial for us even if we directly hear from Krishna. We may not be as fortunate as hearing from the devotees of Krishna. The only thing that is more beneficial than me hearing from your divine grace directly is hearing from your beloved disciples who have imbibed your mood and mission. Not only have you promised to find good husbands for your spiritual daughters and granddaughters if we learn to become chaste and cook nicely, but you have provided the philosophical and practical training to develop both attributes. Despite my endless list of disqualifications, because I have done my best to imbibe your training in this regard, you have offered me one of your precious grandsons. He is training me how to approach our Guru Maharaj. Our Guru Maharaj is training us to approach your divine grace, and your divine grace is training the whole world how to rekindle our constitutional Krishna consciousness. Thank you for literally giving me everything. Please never kick me away from your lotus feet. Please empower me to do everything for your pleasure. Your eternally indebted, aspiring grand disciple, Lekha Shravanti Devi Dasi.
Please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to you. It's been about 4 years since you've taken me under your wing. As I write this, I genuinely can't think of anyone who could have protected, guided, and supported me in the way that you have. All through the instructions within your books and lectures, through your sincere disciple, His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Maharaj, and those who have taken on the service as your representatives to guide me day to day. A woman should be expert in cooking. That is her natural tendency. They should be educated how to cook nicely, how to please the husband, how to take care of the children. This is Vedic civilization, end quote. I can't make much of a contribution here amongst such exalted devotees, but I feel like you'd be happy to hear that I'm learning to cook things that Krishna actually likes to eat, and I really like doing it. All my sisters are expert at cooking, so I've been taking their guidance and advices to heart. So if and when the time comes, due to your mercy, when I move into the Grahastha ashram, I can at least contribute to your mission by cooking nicely, pleasing my husband, and speaking and caring for him in a way that will inspire and encourage him to move forward in his spiritual life. Still, I can't seem to do much right, though. I'm prone to being illusioned, to make mistakes, to cheat, and my senses are imperfect. But I do have some faith. You've promised my efforts won't go in vain. Every day, time seems to speed up. Death is right around the corner. I'm constantly reminded. But if I'm being completely honest, I feel even further away from the finish line than I ever have before. We are embarking on a journey here at Krishna Life. At least I can be surrounded by those who are selflessly endeavoring to fulfill your desires. Thank you for that. I don't deserve what I have, nor do I deserve the association. I could be anywhere in the world, but because of your causeless mercy, somehow I, one of the most unqualified, ended up here. Because of Krishna's divine arrangement, I'm being presented with tests after tests after tests to prove the depth of my so-called love. But I will say it is terrifying, being left with unknown certainty, constantly thinking about how Krishna's going to smash me next. The tests seem to get harder every round, but on the bright side, there's actually a silver lining, and all the adversities are worth it. You've given me something to hang on to, and I pray I never let go of it. I pray for perseverance, strength, patience, determination, and a steady mind on this journey. Prabhupada, if I don't get it right in this lifetime, please find me in the next.
Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vistaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Tinamane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gora Hani Vashayane Nivishesha Shunavari Pashajatashtaine. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to your divine grace and faithful followers. On this auspicious day of your appearance, words are hard to find that express my utmost gratitude to you and your faithful followers. I have many things to learn and accept in my path in Krishna consciousness, and can only look to the words emanating from your lotus lips to be my guide. However, I continuously find myself pulled by desires that stir me from the path you plainly set out to follow. I can only try to imbibe the teachings and instructions in your books and lectures to continue holding on to the littlest faith I have in Krishna's plan for my life. I have come into contact with many of your disciples, including my spiritual master, His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, who continues to carry out your compassion, your love, and dedication to helping others progress in their own spiritual lives. You came to the West to deliver the fallen conditioned souls and bestow pure love of Godhead. I pray to you for your mercy to grasp just a little taste in your transcendental service in whatever way you possibly allow. I've also found myself plagued with constant doubt, constant urges to continue to be the controller of my life, but by your words and the instructions that you have set in place for this temple and to carry out the mission that you so made, that I find myself very confused and very scared of the years to come. But I know that continuing to follow and continuing to just hang on and do the simplest things, which is chanting 16 rounds, following 4 regular principles, following the instructions of my spiritual master, and continue to have faith in just the littlest way as possible, that I one day hopefully can let go of these doubts and be plagued by so many material desires that stir me away from purely serving. By your mercy, I've been given so many nice devotees who have given me so much nice advice and helping me in my path. I wouldn't be here today serving any insignificant way as possible if it wasn't for their constant love and guidance to me. I hopefully pray and I hopefully wish that Krishna life turns into a great image and dedication to your mission with Varnashram Dharma and starting farm communities and continuing to progress and help others come to the path of Krishna consciousness. Please forgive me for any mistakes I've made. And please help me to continue this path that you so set. Your lowly and insignificant service, Tungi Devi Dasi.
stated by Prahlad Maharaj to Lord Nrsimhadev in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Thus, by associating with material desires one after another, I was following the general populace by falling into a blind well full of snakes. My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, then the great sage Narada Muni kindly accepted me as his disciple and instructed me how to achieve the transcendental position similar to his own. How could I ever leave the service of your servant? O Lord Krishna, you are my eternal companion. Forgetting you, I have suffered the kicking of Maya, birth after birth. If today the chance to meet you occurs again, then surely I will be able to rejoin you. O my dear brother, in your company I will experience great joy once again. Wandering about the pastures and fields, I will pass the entire day with you tending the cows. Joking with you and frolicking throughout so many forests of Braj, I will roll upon that ground in spiritual ecstasy. When, oh when, will that day be mine? Today that remembrance of being with you came to me in a very nice way. Feeling great longing, I called out for you, O Lord Krishna. Only because I am your eternal servant do I desire your association so much. Except for you, I have no other refuge. Krishna tava punya habe bhar. 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 Hey punya gori vedade radharani khushi habe dhruva ati bole kamata. Hey punya gori vedade radharani khushi habe dhruva ati bole kamata. Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Shashi Sutta Priya Hari Krishna Deva Jayalaya. Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Shashi Sutta Priya Hari Krishna Deva Jayalaya. Se no Jagate Madhe Krishna Bhakti Devaya.
Evam janam nipatitam prabhavahi gupe kamabhikamamanuyah prapatan prasangat kritvatmasat surashina bhagavan grihitaha soham katham nu visujeta vabhritya sevam Numi more jirasati